4F, when we added to the agenda.
For EF Hutton.
Thank you.
This would be JM Hill.
Yes, the abatement portion of the flooring project.
Or. So we don't want to encapsulate it, we want to remove.
Yes.
I guess that throws off all the thresholds and stuff like that, all the classrooms that.
Yes, and we also got an environmental grant for that, so.
Work. Okay,
Is this, are we doing both minutes and agenda, or are we just doing the agenda?
yeah, we're gonna move to the minutes. So we have, are we all in favor of the agenda? Including the addition?
So, second.
Okay, all in favor, aye?
Aye.
All right, approval of the minutes for the March meeting.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion, George? Amy, George would like to amend your minutes to add.
Okay,
On the,
Let me get to it. George is looking to number 7, items for discussion, the North Bus Depot upgrade options. He just wants to add the language to the minutes regarding the discussion on option 3A, which was finishing off the entire garage bay and moving the dispatchers from the current shed location to the, that's all George was looking to add.
yep, you got it. I will.
So make that change and we'll approve the minutes at the next.
I was also gonna ask that, I thought 7, I know our minutes are not verbatim, but there was a little more discussion on 7, I thought.
Okay.
Then maybe you could review it and just listen to it. Oh, God. Sorry.
The same part, the bus depot part?
Oh, geez. God, I'm sorry. I think he's scared. I'm sorry.
Makes for good.
Yes. Did you do something to me? That's never my seat. I don't know. There are no buttons that I have found. Now I'm good. Yeah.
Yeah.
I did the wrong
Yeah.
lever.
Bus depot discussion.
Yes.
Yes, yep.
Okay. Hope the camera wasn't focused on me that one. That's all. Yeah, because I just feel that's a little, no, we talked a lot about that. I mean, it doesn't have to be not verbatim, but just a little more recap.
You got it.
Okay,
The same one.
so all in favor with what we just proposed?
I
All right. Public content, next meeting will be.
That's not right, and I didn't put that on the original, so I don't know why that says January 8th.
That's a curveball.
We just want to make sure everybody's paying attention.
So the next meeting will
April
be May.
Fools.
We just missed that.
Sorry.
That's a
not-
good one.
This is like
So May 2nd?
May 7th.
7th.
May 7th on my
May
agenda.
7th.
Yes.
Mhm.
We're not quite sure why it says that. And no one caught it.
All right, so the next meeting will be May 7th, 2025, right here. Option you're repeating. Announcements by the committee. Oh, I see, if I. Repetition. Announcements by the committee, items requiring action. 4A, high school south track repair, $8,000 Miller Sports Construction. Barry, if you'd like.
Yeah, I guess I'm just asking for, I actually have a sponsor or a donation from, it's a Club Quijas, the club that I used to throw for the repair of the javelin. So the complete cost, it'll be $6,000 of donate. So I guess I'm really only asking for the $2,000 for the jump repair. And I have pictures here just to show, when they installed it, I believe they just measured it a little bit too high, so the concrete has been exposed. And I think like coaches like hate to come here and jump because they're in fear of like from one of their kids slipping on the exposed concrete. And the other issue was like my coach usually spends like 2 to 3 days to kind of repair it. I know Daryl in the past also has helped repair it with like throw down kind of like runway, but they would come in and professionally do this for $2,000. So I guess I'm really asking for $2,000 for the jump repair. And I have pictures here if you guys want to.
Please.
Yeah. If they were in concrete that's exposed.
Ah,
Like, well, if they get
and this is the,
Is that right at the board?
Yeah,
Oh,
so
yeah.
it's
what's this, like the triple the jump?
Well, should we have been long?
Yeah,
We only
it's-
have one pit, so like, and we're, now with GPO coming in and unified and,
Now, didn't we approve a second pet?
we can have that
Pre-COVID.
conversation.
We can have it again.
Well, we talked about it, but it didn't get approved.
We talked about.
I don't know about that. Well, it's pretty clear that you need a repair.
Yeah. Yeah, I did have a different estimate from a different company and it was just $8,000 just for the javelin runway and then no jump pit. So then I went with the second company, they came back with $6,000 for the javelin runway, and then $2,000 for the jump. So I'm really asking for the $2,000 so we can make sure our kids can jump in a safe, jump runway. But we did have a conversation before about,
Yeah.
2 pits before. But it was, I don't know if it was the time, I don't even know if right now it's the time, I think that could be a future conversation.
Well-
But I think with like the additional teams, we have unified. We have GTO coming over to use our track now, and I feel like it would really help our cause and having maybe sometime a district meet here, because I think it would also have, like I said, like when we have it to go to districts, we have to go to Whitehall or down in the valley, and I think even for the north to come down East Stroudsburg South would be a benefit to both schools. So I think there's I think it's a future conversation. I don't know if we're there yet, but maybe we could just put it like in long-term conversations.
Well, we have the area for a second pit, right?
I believe we do. I think right outside of, if you go outside of the swim pool, and there's that area there that's flat, it almost looks like a perfect spot to kind of maybe move the pole vault, and then we could put 2 jump pits side by side.
Okay.
And I think it would be, because that's the whole, Whitehall has 2 jump pits, so that's a good bid for them to have districts there year out.
But I think we talked about this back, many years ago.
Yeah.
Pre-COVID.
Yeah, pre-COVID.
Pre-COVID, we talked
But
about
it
it.
was expensive, so I understand, I think it may be a conversation, I don't know if that's now, but like, maybe down in the future.
All right.
You said the other 6,000 is someone's donating it?
Yeah, so I threw for a club when I was competing, and my coach ran the club. Now he's kind of retired from coaching, so he just has kind of this money sitting there. So he kind of wants to give back. We have the American Javelin Festival here every year. And I feel like it's my responsibility to pay for it because I put this event on and we have these elite guys coming and they rip up the javelin too. So I feel like it's my kind of responsibility to find that kind of funding for that. So and he was more than willing to do this because he loves the javelin, and we've had some historical throws on this javelin runway. It's a Mondo javelin runway. It's the best, in the business for people competing. And we just had our own javelin, Ivan Wallbach. He's 4th in the nation right now. He threw off that. And I think it helps to have a really good surface. I wish more schools would invest in a javelin runway because it would open up more opportunities for people.
Thank you for doing that work.
Yeah, thank you.
Seriously.
No problem.
Thank you.
Yep.
So note for everybody else, if you're gonna bring a project, bring your own thunder. You're setting that standard very high.
You're always appreciated. All right, next item, 4B, garbage bid results, recommending a 5-year contract.
Yes, we're recommending Waste Management for another 5 years. They were the lowest bidder. And they definitely have the capabilities to take care of the refusal and recycle for the district. The bid specs I wrote, I mean, they signed, they didn't have to alter anything. Everything was perfect. Yeah, it's the total contract price is $838,573.92 over the 5-year term.
So it's an easy,
No brainer. That's for recycling and everything,
Yeah,
recycling is in
everything.
there? Is it single stream or we have to, it's all single stream recycling?
Recycling single, yes.
That's good. Okay.
Yeah, it tells you even the different size dumpsters, 4, 6, 8, 10, 20, 30, blah, blah, blah. All right, next item 4C. Invoices from CHA. I think we only have one.
No, there's
No, we have
four.
Four?
But that's, yeah, sorry, right on the.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Any discussion?
Nope.
Is Josh with us? Does he have anything he wants to add? No?
Not for the invoices, we're gonna go over each project.
Okay. He's with us, all right?
Yep.
All right.
I'm here.
Thank you. Next item is 4D, high school South Field House equipment replacement, application number 3. From Scranton Electric Heating and Cooling Service, for $28,226. Any discussion?
That's the remainder of what's the electrical, right? This is the last, the,
What is this for, the hot water heater or the boiler? What's
I'm assuming the
is that, a
boiler.
Daryl or a Rob, or is that a Josh?
No, it's high school South Field House.
No, this is Josh.
That was for the boiler system, wasn't it? Huh?
You know, that.
Josh, you there?
Yes, you guys are looking at the payment request from Scranton Electric. Is that the one that?
Yeah, that's for the hot water heater or the boiler.
Oh, gotcha. Okay. Yep. So that's a progress payment, monthly progress payment from that project. As we had reported before, that domestic water side of things was installed, and they'll be working on the heating side of things now that the weather is in the spring temperatures. So that is just a progress invoice from Scranton Electric.
Thank you. Next item 4E, JTL boiler and hot water heater replacement project, notice to proceed. Any discussion?
So Wayne, before we continue with this, so this is a form that Maggie and I have reviewed, and we think it's just a good way to capture a formal kind of start or go ahead for projects moving forward. I think it's going to be good for both you and my company, just to make sure that there's a more formal process that we can track formal approval of projects. So this is actually not just for East Stroudsburg. This is a form that my company is implementing for all of our clients, but we just wanted to show you an example of what that looks like. Essentially just referencing the agreement, the scope of services, the fee, which is initially estimated. That fee is then finalized once we open bids, okay? But you'll be seeing these forms moving forward, and it's just, again, a good way for us to confirm scope, schedule for any capital projects that we're going to be doing.
We felt this
Thank
was
you.
a better form of communication to lay out each project and what the anticipated cost would be. And that you as a committee have moved this forward and we're moving forward with this project. So thank you, Josh, for kind of helping us integrate this form.
Okay,
It's much cleaner. Thank
So
you.
the boilers are bad?
Yes.
evidently.
I don't know if they're bad or it's the replacement cycle that we have for boilers. Right, Daryl?
Yes, this is, there, we've been. They're currently working, but they're JTLs is.
Well, it's the original to the building?
Yeah. They're old.
We got
This
our
is the
ESASD.
93 boiler?
That's original to the building.
JTL.
We got our money's worth then.
So then, well, that's interesting. Typically, what is the lifespan? Because I see we're gonna be, in a few minutes, we're gonna be talking about the boiler at Middle Smithfield. And I know that boiler was brand new in 2013. So we get 12 years and this one gives us 30 years.
So
Right. 30 years ago.
It
This is-
estimated estimated lifespan of a boiler is somewhere between 20 and 35 years based on our boiler replacement cycle. Sorry, Josh, I am not an engineer. I just read what you created.
Well said. And I will say, so this project, as well as Smithfield boiler replacement, as well as JTL data cabling, they were successful in getting DCED grants. That's something that I worked with Daryl and Rob and Angela, as well as Peter Bard. So these 4 projects were actually funded in part by the DCED grant program. And the other project that Rob had referenced about the partial flooring replacement at JM Hill, that was also successful in getting a state grant for environmental cleanup. So that's a good thing in that the district is not essentially funding the entire project. There is money from the state coming for these projects.
Well, that's a good thing too. Thank you.
Certainly, we would like that reflected in the minutes, so.
Let's keep going.
Any other discussion on 4E? Moving to 4F, JM Hill flooring, Rob?
Yes, so the bid results for the abatement portion came back yesterday. The lowest bidder was Shade Environmental at $63,900. And our recommendation is to go with Shade Environmental.
Okay, any other discussion? Reports 5A, nothing.
What flooring are we replacing? I thought we did all flooring.
No, it's
JM
JM Hill.
Oh,
It's-
JM Hill.
It's the
Basement.
Oh, downstairs.
yeah, the 9x9, the small
The
asbestos
asbestos
tile
tile.
Oh.
that we didn't do. I found out about this environmental grant, well, probably close to a year ago. And together with Josh and Angela, we applied for it and we have some money coming back to us. The total money for the grant we got is $37,150.
Okay.
That's probably the original tile and whatever.
And then we have to put the new tile on top of those.
Yes, which
that's
that was
another.
approved last.
That's what we did last time.
No, last P&F. We approved that.
But
Yeah.
this is removing.
This is just the removing portion. It was because it's an environmental grant and everything like that, we had to bid it, we bid it out separately.
And it's the best insulator. Okay, next item on the agenda is 5A Lyman and Ash. There is no report for this month. The next item is 5B current capital projects. Any discussion?
But I have a discussion in between 5B and 5C. Those 2 reports. We have, on both of them, we have approved by board. And they don't, there's no way that the projects match. So I would think we would have to have both the one by the business
I don't know
department
what you
and
mean
by
by
the.
matching.
What is, help me understand what you're saying.
I don't know what you mean.
We, like in red, we have, it says, board approved capital projects.
Which
by
one? Are you?
you. And then we have the board approved projects from the business group.
So one is projects and one is payments.
Right.
Right?
One is projects. So your right hand is the projects plan, the left hand is the payment plan.
But they should have, they should be the same, even though they're payment, we should have the same projects on, for.
I understand it.
On.
He's
both-
saying
on
that
both-
I've got 20 here.
On both,
Yes, I
Yeah.
agree.
so we can, even though this may not be a payment,
I see what
there's
you're
no way
saying.
to call it.
Yep,
That's all I'm saying, I think we need to meld them together.
and I think what's in your right hand is the 24-25 school year one, but what's in your left hand are projects that have been started for several years. So I see what you're saying.
Not necessarily, we already have the, scoreboards up.
Yes,
They're not on the list on my right hand,
right.
but they are on the list on the left hand, they should be on both.
I agree.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Okay, we'll cross-reference it and work on that. We're working on getting you a new capital improvement plan overall, so I haven't spent a lot of time on the second document that you have, because we're going to come to you with another format. Yep, but thank you, I appreciate that feedback.
But I will make a statement, the first one is really nice, thank you.
The payment one,
The approved, the capital projects, the one,
the pretty one that
That-
Maggie created.
That we can read.
the one that you can read now? Thank you,
Yeah.
well, yeah,
So Amy has been working on that diligently, so yes.
thank you. That's even better than the one I thought was the best one, really, actually, not trying to make you.
We're trying to get it to a place where.
Someone can pick this up,
everyone is happy.
someone can pick this up and look at this and know
And
exactly
understand
what's
it.
being spent where.
Yes,
That's what I wanted to see.
yes, that's our goal. It's still. a
If
work in
anyone picked this
progress,
up,
but we're
oh,
getting
the pool's costing this, the lights are costing this, and there's no question about what it's costing.
And when it's scheduled.
Uh-huh,
Yes.
I love it.
there. Thank you.
Okay, moving to old business, 6A. Project update, so I guess, Josh, you're gonna give us an update on 6-1, stormwater up north. Are we ready for an RFP?
We are. So just today, Rebecca is publishing a advertisement in the paper starting Friday, and it needs to go for 3 consecutive weeks. That advertisement will include the Phase 3 stormwater, Wayne, which includes that section that had been identified adjacent to the parking lot, the subsidence at the Lehman side of the parking lot. It also includes those DCED projects that we just talked about, the boilers and the data cabling. And the final project is the AV system improvements in the room you're sitting in, the boardroom. Brian Borash and I had developed some ideas and some plans for upgrading the microphones, the speakers. So that is another project that's going to go out to bid. So again, that first advertisement is going to be Friday. And then our pre-bid meetings, I believe, are on the 15th, if I remember. And then the bids will be opened before the next PNF meeting so that we can review the bid results for the May PNF.
What is the bid opening scheduled for?
The bid opening is scheduled for Monday, May 5th at 1 o'clock.
Cinco de Mayo. Okay. 1 o'clock?
1 o'clock.
That's here.
Yeah.
Yep, that's there.
All right, let's go to natatorium league. What's our update there?
The update is that the contractor has received the insulation and they will be mobilizing on site on April 14th to begin that work.
So we're confident that the leak has been sealed.
Well, not yet. It hasn't been yet, but and again, it's more of a condensation issue. So yeah, the intent of reconstructing that wall is to provide a drainage pathway if there is future condensation in the winter months, that it's not dripping into the ceiling space, that there's a new pathway to get it expelled from the metal panel system.
Okay. The
Is that going to interfere with the safety of the students and staff?
It won't, but Keith, that you make a good point in terms of any disruption. I did just want to double check and see if there's any state testing or any standardized testing coming up over the next few weeks that we need to be aware of, or that Ben needs to be aware of. If any students need to be relocated, we'd certainly want to, work around that schedule if possible.
So April 21st starts state testing and it ends on May 23rd.
Okay, so I can check with the principals there. Maybe there's just that stretch of hallway directly below that work area that might be a little bit noisy. I'll just have to confirm with them if they do have space available. Maybe they can relocate some classes, or if we can just reschedule the work accordingly. But I can follow up with Daryl and Rob on that.
Okay, thank you.
All right, next item is the the North Water Tower generator.
So that work is scheduled with Albarell and their excavator for the next couple weeks. And what that means is they will be forming and pouring the pad for the propane tank and also for the new generator. So after that after that pad is cured, I'm going to give it at least 7 days, hopefully maybe even 14. We'll be ready for Sharp Energy or whomever your propane supplier is to drop their supply tank there. So again, I can coordinate that with Daryl or Peter, whoever is going to be in charge of that Sharp Energy contact.
Okay, and just for clarification, we own that tank or are we leasing that tank? I don't remember.
Should be buying it.
We bought it.
I hope so. Okay, thank you. Next item is scoreboards.
Just wanted to give you guys a heads up. I don't know if anybody's been around either of our stadiums, but both scoreboards are up.
They look so good.
And they look awesome, both of them.
Those pictures you sent, I sent to the board.
Up
did
and
you?
running.
Well, I'll send you that.
Oh.
I just didn't have the speaker
on the
wasn't on.
side, or the speaker, like something on the
It's on the
side.
top middle.
Right, yeah.
It's the size of the homes. Looks like it's huge. It's gonna be awesome.
Oh, I want the.
Now we have to
need the
train
mic.
by.
Well,
I
the
need
early
the mic.
part of next week, we're gonna heat them up. We're
need
we're
play
putting the
around.
power to them, so I suspect by the middle or end of next week, they'll be done.
So they'll be able to be used for graduation.
Oh, yeah.
Or
Yes and no. So our high school principals are not well versed in how to use them yet. So we're going to give some skills and have a basic message for graduation. And next year, we're gonna really lean into it. Because I don't know if they're nervous about it not working or glitching. So I'm not saying we're not going to use it at graduation, but I'm not promising that it will be fully deployed for graduation.
Are we gonna, IT work with the people in the,
Yeah.
And also, ask the group of kids that wants the, video and all.
I'm not sure if that is set up, but we can certainly work on
I
that.
mean, I
That
think we want to have
it should be
have
the end goal,
kids.
correct?
involved in it too.
Absolutely.
And then one is, I mean, this is not the, I don't know if this is the place to talk about it, but just to keep in mind, we have to, from the administration side, maybe administration has to start working on some procedures on usage, and because we need to look at costs for if we're going to have to charge some of the people that use our facilities. We've said in the past are going to have we've said we had to have a certified operator, and if that will have to
Oh,
be-
of that scoreboard.
yes,
That's a really good point. Thank you.
because we're gonna have to,
Yep.
if we're gonna have to have someone there that's either a staff member that's paid or somebody of training. We just have to have procedures in place for people utilizing the facilities.
Agree.
But we definitely want to get ESYA people involved in
Yes.
that training process.
Well, yeah, we gotta figure out who's gonna be trained and who's gonna operate it,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
That's
That's a
my,
really good point.
yeah, just
Thank you. Yeah.
stay ahead of the curve, you know?
Mhm.
Okay, next item is the North and JT Lambert stage lighting. Who's gonna discuss it?
I will. Same thing, the JTL stage lighting project's been coming along great. Going smoothly, we suspect by the middle of next week, that should be wrapped up and ready to roll. One of the reasons I put this on here, I know you guys know, we passed High School North's auditorium to be done as well. Since the tariffs have come on, Sam from ESG has pulled his bid from that. And he doesn't know what's happening with it. Getting the materials, putting them in, and or holding a price for it. Now, I ran as many scenarios by him as I could, let's get him a different location, this, that, the other thing. He told me as late as this afternoon that his next update is on April the 15th. He's fully confident he's going to be able to put something together for this summer for North. But I am gonna have to come back to committee with a new With a new quote, a new spec, there may be some products that are different, which I'll go back to North and go over all that with them. We'll go through that process again. But that's where we stand right now. That's with these tariffs. It's got everything out of kilter. And I just want to let you guys know that's where we're at with it. We're working hard to try to get
But for
around.
the JTL project, they had it all ahead of time.
JTL, we were already getting locked on that. They had all the materials.
Because it was ordered. He
Did
didn't
the-
order.
Are the seats affected by that too?
No, in fact, I don't know. I just have a meeting scheduled with Erwin next week. We're set to
The
go.
11th.
Excuse me, we're set to go with the seating the first week in June, and that's all, that's handled as well at JTL, second week in June around. There's a date set, but I don't have that on here, so,
And they'll be put in during the summer.
yes.
Cool.
But we'll keep you posted on the North Auditorium lights. What's happening there.
Items for discussion, project update, number 7.
So before we get to the North Bus Depot, there are 2 items I just want to add.
Sure.
One is, as we're talking about stage performance, things of that nature, if anybody went to South's Play, the sound system was unsettling to me. There was a lot of feedback. So immediately, Brian Borosh and I and Anthony kind of had conversations of why and what caused it. It was like screeching feedback. And then one student's microphone didn't work the whole play. It's not the sound system,
It's the microphones.
it's the actual microphones. So Brian is working on getting me some quotes on what that would look like to replace microphones, but our students put their heart and soul into it. We better be giving them a good experience for that.
Were you there on Friday or Sunday?
I was there on Saturday night.
By Sunday, it got better. Here's-
So they worked, it got better each time. And-
This, Thank you I appreciate you bringing this up because this is one of my biggest pet peeves.
Yeah,
One of the things we've been mixing and matching systems for years where we have a small set of microphones we may own, and then we go out and rent some,
yes,
and then
correct.
we borrow some, then we bring them down from JTL, and we're putting together a set of 40 different microphone packs that are not conducive to each other.
Correct.
And it's impossible from an engineering standpoint, sound wise, and it's usually a student that's doing that,
Correct.
which is amazing to get that. And what really, I'm glad you brought up, because George and I were talking about it. They were talking about raising money.
Oh, I wanted to address that.
Okay, and I want to
So
address that.
Bippity Boppity Boo got up there, the fairy godmother,
Yes.
and spoke about how they're raising money and they have leveled sponsors for that. And I cringed. I wish you could have read my email on Monday morning of no. If you need those kind of things, come and talk to us. Because her goal was to get 12 new microphones and her goal was to raise $1,000 a year. If you buy 1 new microphone, by year 10, the others are
outdated.
obsolete. So
And-
let's get a full package. Let's have an anticipated cycle that and I don't know the life cycle of microphones, and I'm not pretending to be a sound engineer,
If-
but let's see what the life cycle is. And let's set an actual anticipated, like, this is the longevity, we're going to purchase it. Our students invested their time. We need to invest in our students and make sure that we have those.
This is an item for discussion at a future date, but Dr. V, one of the things we're talking about is the plays have always been self
That
funded.
was another thing.
And that's bugged me for
It
years.
should not
And
have to
thank you.
be.
It should not have to be.
And-
And I've said that for years.
Go buy a pretzel so we can have this again next year.
Correct.
Made me like frustrated. And so I spoke to Mr. Trillo first thing on Monday morning and was like, first of all, these aren't messages. And I didn't mean to speak on behalf of the board. I said, but there's no way the
But no,
board is like,
thank
yeah,
you.
go sell all this stuff because we don't want to fund the arts. That's not where we're at.
Hello.
And although we're presenting a budget with deficit spending, we still have room to make sure we're investing in our students and our programs.
Because
So
this
I
is-
got a lot of
Thank you.
feedback on Monday morning about that experience. And the students still did an amazing job.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't take away from their performance, but we should be doing everything we can to support them.
Enhancing for us.
Correct.
Thank you. That's what, that's,
And
it only took 15 years plus.
In this type of business, I was talking to him about what we could do.
And
Mr.
part of
Carcutt, the first sound was a screeching.
that.
The
Mhm.
first sound of the play
Yep.
was a screeching, at least 35 seconds feedback.
Well, because
Screech.
if the board technician is not sure which mic was screeching and he has to figure out who or she, it takes a minute or two. And then if you find out I could talk hours about this. Yes.
Correct. Yeah,
It
I felt badly for the students.
was an excellent
And
start.
nobody did anything wrong. I just think that we need to collectively as an organization and a district say, we're going to invest in our people and our programs.
Thank you.
Okay, that was that. Have a good night. Thank you. All right, the North Bus Depot. So you approved 3A and now I'm coming to you with, I think, like 7 different options. All right, option 1 is to build a whole new structure, which was what Josh had kind of spec'd out, $600,000, 1,200 square feet. It would include 2 offices, a lounge area, and take over a year. Option 3B is the same one of the modular. That would be about 670 square feet, cost $190,000. So those 2 options you've already seen. The problem the board brought to us last month was that this back half of the garage, so let's say 2/3 of the garage, there was a consideration for turning that into where the dispatchers are. So that's option 3C. We can convert the back half of the garage. I don't have a cost, but just, I want to talk it out before we invest in getting more costs for this. If we convert the back half of the bus garage to the dispatcher area, we don't actually get a lot more space. We get more space, but not an insane amount. Also, as I was looking at the entire space, it's a garage. So like it's set up as a garage. If we repurpose it, it's no longer ever going to be a garage, and then we're gonna have to invest again. So when somebody has a different idea and puts up a wall for whatever reason, it's never gonna happen again, but I'm being facetious. But when something else happens and now we decide to repurpose it 5-6 years down the road, we're now investing more money to move it back to what it originally was. So we can convert that space, but then we also have to realize that once we convert that space, we are saying all maintenance has to happen at the south lot. So that means we have to transport our buses down to the south lot for maintenance.
Which is what's occurring.
But it doesn't have to. Once we fix the lounge area and we insulate it, we can reuse that garage with door open. So once we fix the lounge area, we're going to put the ceiling on. That's what the board approved last month, that we're going to put a ceiling in, insulate it, completely put a ductless system so it's heated and cooled. We can then use the 2/3 back half of the garage as a garage with the door up, because they're now 2 separate structures. They're still one structure, but 2 separate rooms. So as we were up there, we were walking around and we said, okay, option 3D is to take the current dispatcher location. So I talked to the secretaries and the dispatchers, and I said, what is the issue you're dealing with? And they literally said, they don't want to walk across to the bathroom. It's 4 people. I'm not dismissing it. I wouldn't want to walk through the rain to use the potty either. And they have no storage. And the back half of the space has no windows. So we could put windows in. We could bump out. So there's a garage door space there. In that garage door space, we could bump out and add a bathroom and a storage closet. I don't have a price on that because then we went to 3E, where we could, and this price is wrong. Daryl, what you have is the full with a lounge on the side, right? So then we could go to 3E, which is where we do a bump out of a bathroom and a storage area, but then on the left-hand side of it, add a larger lounge. And I think we called in a contractor just to get a rough idea. And a contractor is giving us $125,000 for adding a bathroom, storage area, and on the left-hand side of that building, adding a bigger lounge that is more permanent than the upgrade that we want to do on the other side.
This is basically in that shed that the people are,
The
the dispatcher.
the auxiliary building.
Right? Cool.
The shed.
Auxiliary
a
building, I
shed.
like that. Auxiliary building.
Garage door on it, that one, yeah, that one. Or we just keep everything status quo. And the 4 people that work in that space have to continually go outside. Not that they go outside to the bathroom, they have to walk outside to go into another structure to use the bathroom.
Question, do the dispatchers even have to be at that location? Can they be somewhere else on property?
There, so we had that discussion, so that's a great question. We had that discussion.
At one
about
point, the
moving-
dispatcher was
moving
in
them
the school.
over to the schools. And that was done, and we actually found that it wasn't super efficient. Because when the bus drivers have questions or concerns or need to turn something in, what was happening was they were having to leave that site, go across, and the communication was not as efficient or as often because it was in a separate location. So we do see value, which is why we moved them up there originally, because they used to be here.
Well, it used to be.
It used to be
By
at
JT.
JTL, right, they
JTL.
used
All
to
the
be separate.
dispatchers were in one
Just on the
facility.
phone.
But we split them so that the bus drivers have ease of access to
Yeah,
it.
and originally they were in Lehman, and then they,
Correct.
or.
Yeah, and it didn't work
that didn't
super
work
well.
that day.
Cause then you're asking the driver to go to somewhere else, park at Lehman, go in the building. It was too much and communication broke down.
So 125,000, what was
So
that quote?
option E would be about, the $300,000 was overshooting it. We're thinking it's about 125,000. And for that 125,000, Daryl, you have it. Where's the picture, Daryl?
This is about.
So for that, so I'm sorry, people online. So here's the current auxiliary building. We would add a bathroom here with a file room and then a lounge here. We would also put windows in here so that there was space back there. So we're getting a basic rough estimate of 125,000
For 30 by 16 pole barn?
on the right,
No, Wayne, this would be essentially be in addition to.
in addition to the building.
This is the current
Stick
building
built.
that's already there.
Yep.
Metal sheet.
And actually, this is where the septic system is, so like putting the bathroom there is, it's not a lot of hookup. Again, I'm speaking out of my bandwidth, I'm just repeating words.
It's still about, right, it's still about 70,000 cheaper than the modular.
And it would be a permanent structure.
Yeah.
It would all.
Well, it's a lot cheaper than 600,000.
And-
Not gonna go do that.
And
It would make her garage.
a month ago, I didn't get my quote prior to the property facilities meeting. But I got a quote from Pioneer Pole Barn. Local pole barn company, and the quote for a 20 by 24 pole barn. I don't remember exactly, but what was it, like 34,000? Okay, I guess I do remember.
Very much.
Was roughly 34,000, so. A 16 by 20 by 30. We should at least, I think pole barn is. A cheaper avenue,
Yeah, but is a pole barn, then the pole barn has to be finished internally too.
Right.
well, so does the stick built. I mean,
This is
No,
done.
that's done.
This is
That's
done.
done.
This is the finish. Finished project.
This is an existing structure?
No. This number is a finished product.
Wayne, this square right here. This is what we already have. They would be adding an addition here and here for that number. Finished turnkey.
You can't.
And it's like everything.
Even though we would still have to go out for an RFP because of the,
That would cost us, but this is just to give you.
okay.
So we just wanted to give a rough estimate of what that would be.
And it's still a year away.
That one there, would that provide for a lounge, the kitchen area? and so
Yes.
forth? So that would be.
That addition would be the
That would
lounge.
be in this,
That would be that.
Correct.
Okay.
Yes,
And there would be a connection between those two, so they would have access. to
there
the
would be
bathroom?
space. Yep,
Okay, instead of having to go outside.
correct.
I don't wanna swap one for the other.
Correct, yeah, no, they would come
So,
through
so they'd
here.
be able to come. through.
Correct.
It's okay.
This would be a single bath, whereas over here in the garage, there's 2 one-seaters.
So it would be like that.
So could this be, is this feasible before the next school year starts? No.
No,
No.
there's at least a year.
So, but what we approved though was the $7,000 upgrade to the front of the garage. So that will be done before the next school year. So I was talking to drivers and I said, we can get this done in a month. And they're like, yeah, but you're gonna be doing construction when we're here. Can't you do it over the summer? And I was like, if you drivers are okay with that, yes, we'll do it over the summer. So what we can do is we can spruce up for a small cost, which you already approved, spruce up that lounge area. And then as we're working on this, we have a short-term solution that the drivers are in a comfortable space that's heated.
So you could do the
and
bathrooms
cool,
first.
And
get the
then we would do
bathrooms,
this,
And
and
then
then,
multi-phase it, like phase
correct,
it.
yes,
The bathrooms will be the first thing you do.
yes.
Now, you said you were gonna do it in-house, right?
Sprucing up the garage,
Sprucing up
not
the
that.
garage. No, I know
Yeah.
not that.
Hmm.
So my concern, but I don't think it's an actual concern, is the, returning the garage in which is currently being used as a temporary back into, because it's just gonna be, when you convert it to a structure or an area for the drivers, it can be converted back to then the full garage.
Yes.
So I think that is a benefit. If you were to say, no, once we put these existing, that's it, it stays that way. I think that would make the most sense, is to provide a temporary unit.
Mhm.
Take the year to create this addition with that. And then revert the other system back, say next summer.
Can I send it to you?
Go.
Yeah, I'll send it to you.
Uh,
Well, he
I
said-
think that's a great solution.
Please.
The addition.
Mhm.
Cause you're able to have.
Get the bathroom
You're able to
quick.
have your cake and eat it.
Get the bathroom as soon as possible and then add the lounge.
Right.
And I just want, they do have a bathroom. So
Yeah,
I don't
I-
want
I'm-
anybody to
right.
think they don't have a restroom up there.
I,
They just have to walk outside 10 feet and into another building. So,
Makes me think of Hidden Pig.
Mhm.
well, you know,
when I was a teacher at Smithfield, and I've said this to many people.
oh, the
My
bathroom.
Outside.
The bathroom trailer. You had to walk to the bathroom trailer.
My 6-year-old had to leave my classroom, walk across the service road, get
Yeah.
buzzed into the school, walk down a hallway, and then use the bathroom.
That's poor planning.
Great idea. Thank
And then we put that trailer building out back with the deck, you know?
So then what
That
we
was-
would ask
Back
for
that's what-
is permission to go forward with looking at option 3E, which is 125,000 roughly, that we would be extending and upgrading the current dispatcher location to include a restroom and lounge.
Yes.
Okay. That's the decision. Though. Okay,
So I just wanna make sure we got this right. So we're saying by the end of the summer, we'll have a fully finished area. for
What's
the
this
dispatchers.
slab grade
For
full
next
structure
school
for
year.
like vehicle service?
And then
taxes?
the
There would
building
be
of the
another
new
garage.
addition and the bathroom
Correct.
facility.
will happen next school year.
Next school year, and so
Yep.
next summer, everybody can move back into that
Correct.
unit, and then over the summer revert the
Yes.
garage back to where it was.
So by the time,
Planning, depending on
yeah,
bids
well,
and plans and
yeah,
work
well-
schedule, yeah, lumber, all of
so
that.
hopefully by 26, 27, we'd be ready to go into the.
My dream is by 26, 27, we are never, ever, ever talking about the North Bus Garage.
That would be great.
Other than how wonderful it is.
We'll see.
Thank you for your,
That's
your
optimistic.
work on it.
It's been optimistic.
You're welcome, Mr. Carco, thank you.
Okay, next item. Number 8, public participation. John, you have anything you'd like to add? You were here for the bus lounge. Did you like what you heard?
That's what we're doing,
All right.
That's
pending
what-
board approval.
3E.
I think that sounds like a good plan.
Does that sound good to you too then?
The most effective, yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
You guys are the ones that have to live with it.
No, he's the guy that pays it.
Huh?
He's got to
He
pay.
pays it.
No, he's here. Because of for the bus drivers.
Yeah, I know. I know, I know.
thank you. Okay, moving on. Next item, number 9, advisory recommendations for consideration by the Board of Education. I guess those are our motions. I'm still getting adjusted to this. Advisory. All right, let's go back to motions. See if I can pull this off.
Got the track repair, 2,000.
Yep, motion, let me see here. I don't need this page.
This doesn't attach to that.
Okay, motion to accept the proposal for $8,000 from Miller Sports Construction. The repair of the high school south track. What is it, the long jump?
It's actually just 2,000.
$2,000. Right,
The 6,000.
Yeah, Barry has.
So you're gonna put down 6,000 grand, 2,000.
Well, I think we should approve the $8,000 project with the $6,000 coming back as a donation.
yeah.
And we will supply the other 2. I think we should have it in there that.
That's the motion.
Okay.
To go onto the board.
I have a first, do I have a second?
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion. To accept, motion to recommend, I gotta find that.
Waste management.
So I.
Waste management for the garbage bid results for the 5-year contract as presented.
And that's.
So move. Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to recommend payment of CHA invoices A through D.
Second.
Discussion. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion, let me see.
Field house.
Application for payment.
Okay, motion to recommend payment to Scranton Electric Heating and Cooling for payment number 3 of $28,226 for the high school south field house equipment replacement project.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to recommend project to proceed, notice to proceed. That's the JT boiler and hot water heater replacement.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye. Got jam hill floors. Thing, right?
Did I forget that? I
It
did.
was.
Motion to recommend JM Hill Flooring, shade environment for $63,900 for the abatement for the basement of asbestos tile.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to recommend, what was it? Option 3E, is it?
3E.
Yes.
For the north bus garage.
Motion.
Second.
Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
All right. Thank you, guys.
And gals.
You all right over there?
And gals.